here for a minute.
There we go. Oh, I wondered where you went, sweetheart. We all
That's right. Yeah, we're all outside looking at the cute guys that are, never mind. It was good anyway.
All right. Well, hi, Verlaine. Welcome everybody to One Heart, One Mind Center for Spiritual Living, our online Sunday service. Glad everybody's here this morning. I'm going to kick us off with a little music. So we are talking this morning about love. So I tried to find some music that was all about love. And none of these are videos. So I'm just going to share the sound. Get it up here. Maneuvering around. And this one is Patricia Bahia. I like her. Let's start it from the beginning. You guys hear it?
No walls between our hearts, and no walls between our souls. Where you begin and where I start, who I am and who you are. Oh, we are one. We are one. We are one love. One love without an end. One love, no us or them. Though we seem different, we're more the same. Children of the light that never fades. Oh, we are one. 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 One love. One love. One love. One love. One love. One love. Oh yeah. One love. One love. One love. One love. One love. We are one. We are one. We are one. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. We are one. One love. We are one. One love. We are one love. Yeah, yeah. One love. 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 One love.
I'm muted. I just said I love that song too. I think that kicks us off quite nicely. Except that we're going to invite Rob, our practitioner of the day, to kick us off with some prayer.
Right. And I love that song too. And that was Michelle, what was the name of that artist again?
Her name is Patricia Bahia.
Bahia.
B-A-I-A.
Got that.
Yeah, she's got a lot of really good ones.
You come up with the best music, Michelle. You're rather amazing in your consistency there. I'm always impressed with it. Anyway, so the title of Michelle's talk today is Love Dissolves All Fear, and I can already tell that she's going to concentrate on the love part. I'm think I'm going to concentrate on the other part. But it's all well and good. It's all well and good. The thing about fear is we all have to deal with fear. Why? If the universe is 100% God and God is 100% good, then why sweat it? Well, I believe that the universe in which we live is designed to offer us a challenge. Challenges keep our lives interesting. Think of your favorite movie of all time. Was there any suspense in it? I'm guessing yes. What is suspense? It is fear that something bad might happen. Now, think of a movie with absolutely no suspense in it. There aren't any, really. The physical universe is here for our entertainment. That's why there is always an opportunity to fear. Fear absolutely plays an important role in our lives, but we can control how much excitement, that is fear, we let into our lives. And how do we know when we've given fear too big a role in our lives? When the excitement we feel starts to eclipse our joy. Basically, it is when concerns about future developments get amplified to the point that life stops being fun. And what do we do when we've realized that fear has eclipsed our joy? We remember the truth in the teaching of our founder, that all existence is 100% God and that God is 100% good. And what does it mean that God is 100% good? It means that every single part of creation is here specifically for you, every part. And the verification of this is true can be found in the joy and the peace and the love that we experience when we turn our attention to God and open ourselves to a direct experience of that Godness. See, the drama of life is seductive, and that drama is an important part of living. I believe that one of the greatest skills we can have in life is the skill to know how much drama to allow into our lives. Ideally, we want not too much, but also not too little. And the way we regulate the drama in the drama level is with spiritual practice. The more we engage in spiritual practice, the less drama we experience. Spiritual practice makes life easier, but we don't want zero challenges because overcoming challenges is a primary source of satisfaction in life. I know it may sound weird to consider the possibility that you are doing too much spiritual practice, and it is unlikely. But I maintain that it is that the possibility is real, and the answer to the question, should I do more or less spiritual practice, is found in the answer to the question, how good does my life feel? Start with the question, what is the best I have ever felt in my life? Followed by the question, how close am I to feeling that good right now? Here's another line of questioning. What am I most worried about now? Followed by the question, would it help if I was certain that the thing I am most worried about is as much God as anything else in my life? Well, that's why we're here in this Zoom assembly. Spiritual practice will absolutely get you to that realization. And showing up here on Sunday morning is a great spiritual practice. So congrats on that score. And let us pray. As we take this glorious opportunity to sink back into our chairs, to relax into the magnificence of God that we feel all around us, that we are totally aware of and becoming more and more aware of as I speak. And we know that this unity that we are is the source of that wonderful feeling of Godness. And right now, I am just so delighted that joy is my choice. I am so delighted that thinking about joy increases our level of joy. Thinking about joy increases our level of joy. That was easy. And I am so happy that we get this time together, to be together and to celebrate all the goodness that we have and to enjoy the truth that is coming at us. The most significant truth we will ever run into is, in fact, the truth that is central to the teaching of science of mind. The most important facts we will ever know are here to help us live the most joyous life we can. And we are so lucky to have this. And we are so grateful for all that we have, for this group that we have to come together and celebrate this and to remember all the goodness that we have. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for all that we have and all that we are going to experience here in this meeting today and for the rest of today, which is going to be enhanced, I guarantee you, by this experience we have together, and for the week to come, which is better for exactly the same reasons. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. I release my word to the universe. I let it be. I let it go. And together we say, and so it is. And if we're lucky, Michelle is queuing up October's affirmation, which D say, as autumn reveals beauty in change, I welcome transformation as a natural rhythm of my soul. With gratitude, I harvest wisdom, love, and peace, knowing life is ever renewing, and I am always supported by the infinite. And so it is.
So it is. That was beautiful, Rob. You could not have kicked off the service any better. That was great. What a beautiful thing. And so I have, this next one does have some lyrics, so I'm going to just share my screen as well as soon as I find it. There we go. All right. Thank you so much. That was really a couple of things you said. I'm like, oh, good. I'm going to expand on that point. That's perfect. All right. Here is, let's share sound. I did get a new camera and microphone so that everyone could hear me better.
As time has unfolded me, it has revealed to me life's nothing less than sublime. With every thought I make, every last breath I take, may I be gracious and kind. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love, cover me, light any darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Kindness wash over me, make me a symphony. Play every note you can find. Make me reverberate, gently deactivate, slowly flow out of my mind. Find me a melody, dance and let my anthem be. Love cover me, light any darkness. Love cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love cover me. 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 I will not be shaken. I will not be moved. Love cover me. May my heart awaken. Tenderness be proved. Love cover me. Love cover me. Love, 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 love. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love, cover me. Light any darkness. Love cover me. Right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love cover me. Love cover me. Love cover me. Love cover me. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love.
Well, we did pretty well for most of that. What I've noticed is that if I share the video, we do, and I even have my Ethernet on, so it should have been better, but you know what? We got the message, and it was a beautiful song. Gary Lynn Floyd, just such a wonderful musician. And so let's take a deep breath. Oh, love cover me. What a wonderful way to hold that sentiment in our heart as we begin this, as I begin my talk this morning. So I just, again, I always like to say good morning again, even though we've been visiting with each other for a while, because we also have people that watch the replay. So whether you're joining us in real time or replay, you are welcome here, because we are this ever expanding spiritual community, and we're connected within God's kindness and passion and love. And so I always like to remind us that our touch, our reach is much further than just this particular Zoom call, that it's much grander. We reach an audience much larger. So last week I was in Arizona with my family. We had a little family reunion, and it was really fabulous, you know, to be with my biological family, because we hadn't been together in a long time. But it really feels good to be back here with my spiritual family as well. And I hear that the practitioners did a fabulous job. They shared some very inspiring words with you last week, and I'm so grateful for all of them. So as Rob mentioned, today's topic is love dissolves all fear. And also, as he said, this is a very basic metaphysical principle. Science of mind and many other spiritual traditions teach that love is not just an emotion or a feeling of affection. It is that as well, but that it is the fundamental energy and unifying source of the universe, the creative essence from which all life is born. And as human beings living in this time-space reality where things are constantly changing, love is that solid ground beneath our feet, the unshakable presence that we stand on. And no matter how the world shifts and changes, love is constant and firm. It's this infinite presence. It's our source of strength and guidance. And love unites us in this one presence and power of life. Love tells us that fear is not some opposing force, but a temporary forgetting of who we are within God's love. And that when we return to love through our awareness, our compassion, through our spiritual practice, as Rob also said, fear dissolves and peace is restored. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, wrote that perfect love casts out fear. Where there is no fear, there is peace. And where there is peace, there is power. We live in a world that gives us so many invitations to fear. The news, the media, the negative predictions we are buzzing all around us, making the future seem kind of shaky and uncertain. The divine presence gives us one invitation, and that is an invitation to love. There are not two powers. There is only love. And when we know and feel love, then fear dissolves because it can't exist when we realize our oneness with love. Ernest Holmes, again, wrote in his book, in this little book called, well, it's not really that, Love and Law. You may have seen it. It's kind of excerpts from some of his talks and from the Science of Mind. Anyway, he said there's but one power in the universe, and we can use it either negatively or positively. The power itself is love and law, and it's the nature of God, changeless and eternal. We're called to experience love in so many different ways. Love calls us when we, you stand in the sun and you feel the warmth of the sunlight on your skin, reminding us that spirit is constantly giving. It's the ever givingness of spirit, as Holmes put it. Love calls us even when we can't feel or see the sun, because we still know it's there. We have the experience of it. Love calls us with the rhythm of the tides, the turning of the seasons. We just experienced that, kind of right in the middle of fall now, or at the beginning. And love whispers to our soul. It says, all is well. You are safe in the flow of life. And it calls us with the song of the birds at dawn. I have so many birds in my backyard, and I always think, oh, I am in harmony with this creation, with these birds and all of the things in my yard. Love speaks to us in every blossom that opens, every tree that bends in the wind. Love invites us to trust, and to trust that expansion and growth and resilience are love expressing themselves in form itself, I should say. And that everything is already available to us in potential within the consciousness of God, which is our consciousness. We're just a point of expression, an individual point of expression. And as we recognize and embody its presence within us, it expresses through us into our physical lives, into this time-space reality. So what exactly are we trusting when we trust the power of love? We often talk about trust. It's Yvonne's favorite topic, trust. It's all of ours. But what does it really mean to trust? And what does it have to do with love? Trust is very much like surrender. It feels like this kind of gentle letting go. A bit like a bit like surrendering to the rhythm of a beautiful piece of music. You know, it's a realization that we can't force the universe to bend to our will, but we can learn to move in rhythm with it. And when we realize that, something in us begins to soften. You know, our grip loosens, and as we begin to soften, that turns into power. You know, not the kind of power that controls, but the kind of power that flows with the nature of life, the kind of power that creates. And as we let go of trying to control, which is just an illusion of power anyway, God, Spirit, the all that is, that flow graciously moves through us. You know, we begin to flow with the only power there is. But that power filters itself through our thoughts and our feelings and the beliefs that we hold, whether consciously or unconsciously. But this is a power that knows what we need long before we even know what to ask for. And trust is letting go and allowing this power to move through us without resistance. Trusting that it always moves, again, as Rob said, towards a greater experience of love. Trust is allowing the flow of life to do its thing through us. And that happens when we align our personal point of expression with the creative energy of our source, of God. And then we move in harmony with it. The universe doesn't respond to what we want. It responds to the frequency of who we are. When we constantly try to force our outcomes and make things happen the way we think they should happen, we're essentially saying to the universe, I don't trust you. You know, we use this metaphor a lot because it's a great illustration, but imagine you're a river. When you fight against the current, all you do is exhaust yourself. When you constantly resist the water, it just keeps pushing you back. And you really have to fight to get anywhere if you're going against the current. You lose a lot of energy. But the moment you let go, the moment you soften, the river carries you. You move with it instead of against it. You know, you can feel that energy. That's the energy and the frequency of trust. That is being the presence of love. That is the activity of love. And in the presence of love, fear cannot exist. Just like darkness can't exist in the light. Light a candle. It lights everything up. Darkness disappears. You know, and love also invites us to experience its presence in our relationships. Sometimes pretty dramatically, right? I really think that relationships are all about learning how to love and to let go. Relationships with our friends and our family and our coworkers, our acquaintances, even the person who answers the phone at the doctor's office. In relationships, we're given the opportunity to feel love's presence, even when it's not obvious. And, you know, we can choose to listen rather to react, to understand rather than to go on the defense, to laugh with each other, which is simply shared love and joy. Our interactions with others gives us the opportunity to forgive. Ooh, it's a biggie. To forgive rather than to judge. Love says, remember who you are. You're one with your source and all of creation. Love connects us heart to heart, no matter what the external circumstances are. And that's a biggie. I just went through a big challenge where I had to learn. It doesn't matter what's going on around us. It only matters that I sit in the truth of love. You know, I read a story about the power and the presence of love. And we've all probably experienced some situation that is very similar to this story at one time or another. I know you have. And the story is about a woman named Sarah. And Sarah was a nurse in a busy downtown hospital. And one day, after a very busy late night shift, she was getting on the elevator to go down to the parking garage. And just before the elevator's doors closed, a man hurried in. You've all seen that. Sticks his hand in, stops the elevator. And this guy was kind of unshaven. He was anxious. He was clutching a paper bag. And for a moment, fear kind of rose up in Sarah's body. You know how that feels. And then Sarah caught herself and she remembered what she knew to be true, that there's only one presence and only one power, and that power and presence is love. And she knew that when she acknowledged love's presence, fear dissolves. So she took a breath, she centered herself, and she silently affirmed, there's only love here. I see this person through divine eyes. And then she looked up and she softly said to the man, are you okay? You look like you've had a hard day. And the man hesitated and then his shoulders dropped and he said quietly, my daughter's in surgery. They don't know if she's going to make it. And in that moment, fear fell away, both hers and his. Compassion filled the space. And Sarah placed her hand over her heart and she said, I'll hold you and her in prayer. And the atmosphere of that small elevator shifted. What had been tense was now peaceful. What had been filled with fear was now filled with love. Neither person could change the outer circumstances in that moment, but both were changed by the internal realization that love is greater than fear. Love isn't passive. It's an active recognition of the divine wholeness that dissolves separation, that dissolves judgment and anxiety. Fear contracts, love expands. Fear isolates, love connects. In every modern setting, hospitals, classrooms, workplaces, even on social media, we're daily given opportunities to choose love over fear. And each time we do, in even the smallest ways, we bring light, a light of love into our lives. Love isn't outside of us calling us to come closer. It's the life within us, longing to express itself and form in every area of our human lives. Every act of noticing beauty, the birds singing, the trees bending to the wind, in every act of noticing, of extending kindness or softening into a place of peace is love awakening up and expressing itself in the world. You know, this past weekend when my siblings and I gathered for our family reunion, you know, you could feel the overarching feeling in the room, in the gathering was love. And we pretty much all have different political views, different spiritual beliefs, different incomes, different ways of looking at life. We had one sibling who didn't even participate, but that was his choice. But none of that mattered because there was love. Lots and lots and lots of love. And we laughed and we laughed. And spirit came out to play in that connection. And there was this great sense of joy, of knowing each other on such a deep level that nothing else mattered. Ernest Holmes reminds us over and over again that only love is real, that there are not two powers. He wrote in the Science of Mind text that fear is a belief in something other than God. Now, how you can believe in nothing because God is everything. Faith is the complete conviction that there is nothing to fear. Oh, sometimes it's so hard to get there, isn't it? But we can remember. Fear is a false belief in separation from our source. And love is the awareness that we are infinitely one with that source. And just as darkness can't push against the light, fear can't push against love. The moment love is known, fear dissolves, disappears. Not because love conquered fear, but because fear was never real in the first place. even though it can certainly feel real, as Rob pointed out to us earlier, it can feel real in our human experience, but beyond that, it is not. And when it does, we can use one of our many, many spiritual practices to bring us back into the reality of our divine life so that it can express through us. You know, we can pause. We know how to do this. We can pause for a moment, you know, and we can just sit in that experience of love so that it can express through us. You know, we can breathe. You know, sometimes fear, when we were feeling fear, it throws us into that fight or flight mode, right? Whether we in fight or flight, we want to run, hide, or fight. But all we have to do is pause and relax. We calm down the amygdala, the fight or flight part of our brain, and that throws the amygdala, when it's fired up, throws us into survival mode, which has been helpful for us as human beings for millennia. But when we calm down that amygdala, we don't react. You know, fear always reacts. But when we're peaceful, our frontal lobe takes over and we become aware. We can embrace and embody the presence of love. And then we can respond from love, right? It helps us to say an affirmation when we're calm and thinking clearly, when we don't want to react, but to respond. We can say something like, there's only one presence and I am safe within it. I mean, it's just anything simple like that can bring us back into that place of the experience of love. And from this higher awareness, we can respond in kindness, in understanding, in peace, even if it means just walking away from a person, a situation, or a circumstance. Fear reacts, love responds. Can you feel the qualitative difference in that? I can feel it just saying the words. And there are so many other practical ways we can call on love to overcome fear. Fear tends to show up most vividly, at least this is true for me, it's probably true for you, in the areas where we feel most vulnerable. In the areas of money or health or relationships or our work in the world. These are the areas where we've learned to believe that our good is limited in some way, that it's uncertain or dependent on some outer condition. But any fear that comes up for us in any of these areas, we can use it. We can use it as a call to remember where our true security lies. We can look at fear as a messenger, a spiritual reminder, not as an enemy. Fear can point out the places in our consciousness or our subconscious mind where false beliefs are running the show. And then we can transform them by bringing the power of love to them. Is this real? No. What is the truth then? And then by repetition, we can plant the seeds of truth, that love is the only power, that spirit always moves towards a greater expression of good. That's just the way life works. Spirit is always good. Rob reminded that. He is one, the spirit, life, God is 100% good all the time. And then we can fill our mind with this resonance. We can bring love to fear. And then the energy of fear dissolves. And not because the outer world suddenly changed, but because we remember who we are and what is available to us. Love is like this healing balm, you know, for any doubt or fear or uncertainty we have, whether it's conscious or unconscious, anything we're holding on to that is not the reality of love. Oh, so there's another story. I found another great story. There was a great story about how trust transforms fear to love. And this story is in the area of money, but it's true really for any area of our lives. But the story goes that there was a woman named Clara, and she'd been struggling financially for several years. For a long time, she worked hard, but no matter how much she earned, it just never seemed to be enough. And her thoughts were always filled with worry about bills, worry about unexpected expenses, and what surprises might be waiting for her around the corner. And one morning she was sitting at her kitchen table with a cup of coffee and a pile of unopened envelopes. And in her desperation, she said out loud, God, I just can't keep doing this. Now we know God is within us, but sometimes we need to talk to somebody. And her words just kind of hung in the silence of the room. And then, as if the silence was answering her back, she heard a small inner voice say, you're trying to manage money with fear when money is meant to flow with love. Oh, that makes so much sense to me. The words kind of startled her. Money and love, that seems like an odd combination, but she couldn't shake the thought. So she decided to do an experiment. And that week, instead of counting what she didn't have, she began blessing what she did have. What a novel idea. Every time she paid a bill, she'd say, thank you, God, for the flow of good that allows me to give and receive. And she started putting a few dollars in an envelope every pay period that said the love fund, not for emergencies, but for joy, to give what she felt inspired to give. And one day she bought lunch for a neighbor who had just lost his job. Another day, she slipped a few dollars anonymously into a charity box. Every time she gave, she felt lighter, and her mind and her heart grew more relaxed and more fulfilled. And a few weeks later, an old friend called out of the blue and offered her a job doing something she loved, arranging flowers for local events. It was less stressful than her current job. It paid fairly well, and it brought her genuine joy. And then Clara realized that her outer circumstances didn't have anything to do with money. It was her inner relationship with money that needed to change, and it did. And then everything changed. When she stopped seeing money as a source of fear, I can relate to that, and started seeing it as a vehicle for love and expression for divine circulation, then everything began to flow. She came to understand that money, like love, is meant to move. When we hoard it, it's fear. We're expressing fear. It stagnates. When we bless it and let it circulate with gratitude and trust, it multiplies. And as I said, this is true in every area of our lives. We could replace health with money, friendships with money, whatever. But life moves. It is never stagnant. And trust moves us into love. And love is power, the power of creation itself. Oh, it really is. So I invite you, if you feel comfortable, to close your eyes for a moment or just soften your gaze, doesn't really matter, and take these words into your heart. There is only one presence and one power, love. Where love is known, fear dissolves. We are living expressions of divine love right now. And in this sacred awareness, we know that the light of love is the truth of our being. Every thought of fear, every vibration of doubt dissolves into the radiant love of God. We move forward, grounded in peace, inspired by spirit, and open to love's infinite expression. Love's infinite expression. And so it is. Oh, well, I feel all filled up with love. Oh my goodness. So let's see. I don't know. Does anybody know who's doing the Lisa? Thank you. At this point, I'm just kind of blank. Oh, my dear friend. Oh, you're muted, sweetie. I have to put my glasses back on.
There we go.
Here you go.
Ooh. I'm sorry, I've done something that I can't see the screen. At any rate, this is our time to circulate love by contributing to our family of spirits. And I think most of you know how to do it, that Venmo is one way, and the other is mailing something to Reverend Michelle, and the address is on the screen.
Can you see your screen now?
I can. My computer did something and brought some other thing across, and I had to get rid of it. So anyway,
Right, so here is the sacred giving affirmation.
okay. Okay, we could say together, I give with a grateful heart, knowing that spirit is the source and substance of all supply. I joyfully participate in the circulation of abundance. My offering blesses the world and returns to me multiplied. I am grateful and I am prosperous.
So it is, I think I need to put it up a little higher. And so it is.
Oh,
I just put it up, I
sorry.
didn't have it, I didn't
Something, sorry, it
have it on my screen.
halfway came across.
So, announcements, we have our Monday night, prayer group, and then Tuesday, we're having our Neville Goddard class. We're getting down to the end of that, so I invite you to think about books. We've talked a little bit about a book that we might want to do afterwards. We talked about Creative Minded Success. We might do that, which is an oldie but goodie Ernest Holmes book. But if you have any suggestions, just let me know. And then, let's see. I think Wednesday is prayer circle. Is that right, Relaine? Do you?
No, we just had our third one.
Oh, okay.
The prayer circle is the
First and third.
first Wednesday of November. But I am starting this new group, The Joyous Expectancy of Being Me, and that's starting the last Wednesday of this month, the 29th, from 6 to 7 p.m. And I was listening to Rob speak and you, Michelle, and really love and joy is two of the biggest feelings you get from being yourself, from expressing your divinity. And when you share and express and love the light within you, you receive so many gifts, and the world too. So I hope to see you guys there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I definitely want to see want to experience that with you. All right. Anything else? Anybody have any other announcements or things they'd like to say? I'm looking for the song. Let's find it. Here it is.
Well, I could say that yesterday, watching the people marching, I was thinking they had one in Rancho Bernardo, and I was thinking that I was going to participate, and I needed to do an errand in that area. And the thing is that as I was driving to the area and seeing all those people, all I could do was cry, because it was just the joy of seeing so many people who were saying my country matters to me. Everybody was smiling and honking, and so I participated by honking and waving. But it was like I thought, I don't want to stand there in the middle of those people and just cry, but I was just so moved by their love and compassion.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Okay, I did find my song here. So, and I'm just going to share. There's no video. I'm just going to share the sound because it seems to work better.
I'm so grateful I'm alive.
Can y'all hear it?
sunshine, your eyes, dewdrops, fireflies. I'm so grateful I'm alive. 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 Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your voice, waterfall, sparrow song, coyote call. I'm so grateful I'm alive. 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 Yeah. Your hug, sweet kiss, holding hands in blind bliss. I'm so grateful I'm alive. 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 The shadows I conceal endeavor to reveal another part of me, embracing all that I perceive. Yeah. Cut grass, jasmine bloom, honeysuckle, your room. I'm so grateful I'm alive. 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 Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Grateful I'm alive. Oh, Lisa, would you like to do our benediction for us, please?
Sure. Okay, let's take our nice breath. Knowing that the power and presence of love has been highlighted and enjoyed and blessed by this service. And Rob has blessed us with reminding us that to be grateful for the challenges as well as the joys, that the challenges are a part of bringing us into a further, deeper connection with that love force that is the infinite power. And grateful to Reverend Michelle as well for giving us even more reminders of the power of love and how it lives in us and the ways in which we can remind ourselves of it every day. And I think that it's easy to begin to look at the world from that perspective, from the perspective of everything is love, no matter what it looks like, and that we can conquer that fear that comes up to haunt us in a way, that it's really another gift to find our way back to love. And so I'm so grateful for this service and for each and every person who has participated and created the energetic atmosphere of love that is one heart, one mind. And so I release my word into the law, knowing it is done and done very gratefully. And I ask us all to say together, and so it is.
That was beautiful, Lisa. Yeah, I want to thank Rob. I want to thank Lisa. I want to thank everybody that's on the call. And I want to thank those that are going to listen to the replay, because I am now going to stop the recording. Say goodbye to our replay people.